Welcome along to episode 1 of our new series, Bitesize Beachcombing, in which we'll be taking a short 2 or 3 minute look at some things that you can find on the beach when you're out beachcombing. In the first episode, we'll be looking at the Strandline. This is the bit of the beach where most of the stuff gets washed up, and you can find some really interesting stuff there. As the tide heads out and back in again, it carries stuff in with it. Little bits of seaweed, small bits of plastic, things that float really easily and can be moved by the tide. All the things that the ocean is carrying will get deposited on what we call the Strandline. This is the point of the last tide's highest mark, and it's often where you can find some of the most interesting things washed up. Depending on where you're from, you may have also heard it called other names, including the shoreline, the tide line, or the tide mark. As someone who enjoys finding things on the beach, the Strandline is by far the best place to go to find some of the coolest stuff washed up. Before, I found whales, dolphins, seals, and some really cool marine life. The Strandline gives us a really good indication of what's going on in the water. It'll highlight some of the rarer species that are about, but also what's common. You can find a wide array of stuff on the Strandline, from skeletons to washed up animals, seashells to driftwood, and little bits of plastic to some really weird finds. But that's not all the Strandline's useful for. The Strandline provides a vast array of food for many different animals. Birds can swoop down and eat any fish that may have washed up. Insects like sandhoppers can feast on the rotting seaweed, and when the tide eventually takes it all back, the scraps can be used to feed different fish and crabs. So the next time you're out on the beach, pay attention to the Strandline, because you never know what you might find washed up or feasting in amongst that seaweed. I really hope you enjoyed the first episode of Bitesize Beachcombing. You can join me here every second Wednesday at 6 PM. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the oyster. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.